So I have one more question. The same question I always ask. What is the one thing you think financial planners should know, but don't?
Well, I'm going to say I'd like to think about that a little bit differently in terms of what some advisors, what some don't know and should. And I think that that this idea that I think that the idea that that somehow spending and investing can be separated from each other, and that you can have this risky portfolio but have a pretty static and smooth spending policy that's associated with that, is really a recipe for disaster. And of all of the different rules of thumb that we have, that financial planners have read about and think about, I think that in some ways the 4% rule is one of the least well formed of those. And sure, you might have a really high probability of not running out of money, but it's just very ill-conceived, I think. And it's much better to have to recognize that spending and investing are just inexorably linked together. And so if you want to take investment risk but you can't take spending risk, then you have to find a way of reconciling that. You have to take less investment risk and take more variability in your spending. I mean, it depends on everybody's circumstances, but I think that linkage between spending and investing risk is really critical and has a lot of impact. Can have a lot of impact. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have fixed spending. And I think that when it comes to our basic needs, that is pretty fixed, so we need to have some fixed spending, and that if we have that need, which so many of us do, well, that tells us that part of our portfolio better be pretty low risk to match that. So, but I don't know, I think in our book we talk about lots of things where we think it makes sense to for advisors to think about things differently. Also, are tips risky, or is T-bill, what's riskier, T-bills or tips? I think that if you're a long-term investor, we should be thinking about our long-term spending. That's what we care about. That's what we used to care about more than 100 years ago, was how much income did we have, not how much did our brokerage account say we had in present value wealth.